we completely skipped fall this year, went straight to winter. We've already got snow, it's nasty and crummy outside, but we've got something to warm us up. We've got some potential fishing industry drama between Googan Squad and Favorite Rods. So stay tuned to this video. Let's dive into all the speculation. What's going on? Are they no longer together? Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, all of you fish slayers. I'm your boy Fishhook Terry. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, because one of these days I would love to be large enough in the industry and have a growing, booming channel that someone would give a crap about my fishing industry drama. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. And for you guys who could care less about Googan Squad, Googan Baits, Favorite Rods, me, please don't go anywhere. I'm sure I have something on this channel that will entertain you for fishing related content. So please subscribe anyway and like this video. Help me out. All right, so let's start at the beginning if you have no idea what I'm talking about. So over the last month, 3 weeks or so, you've started to notice all of the Googan Squad guys not using Favorite Rods. And many of these guys, again, have their own signature line of rods. So it seems very peculiar why they're not using their rods. And Rob, Lunkers TV, around that time frame 4 weeks ago, had a post, a video saying that he was gonna give away all of his old rods. And then Lake Fort guy did it, and there was never a reason to why they were giving them away. They kind of made this, it kind of made it out as if they were just giving away old rods so they could get new rods going into 2020, but they never really said. And there's been a lot of movement maybe the last week or so that's got guys really questioning, okay, so what's really the deal? Have they moved away from Favorite? So again, Rob gives all of his rods away. He's moving on, he's doing something, okay? Now Rob just yesterday posted a video where he got some JDM reels. And there's a couple things going on in that video that again got people on their radar going, what in the world is going on? So at about the 4-minute, 30-second mark, he makes his comment about that they were in a meeting and Perrick is really hard on reels, and he broke a reel handle of one of their former companies, kind of paraphrasing, but he broke this reel because the quality wasn't there and it was in this testing phase or whatever they were doing in this meeting. Just about a week or so ago, Favorite just dropped a brand new line of their high-end reels. Is that what he's referring to? Because it kind of is this little snarky comment in the middle of this video about quality and people are not sure what's going on with Favorite. That could be construed as maybe some shots fired. And of course, if you watched Rob's video, at the end of that video, he goes rod shopping at their local place that they've been a part of before and sell the Favorite Googan line of rods. And he's going there to buy rods of other manufacturers because he wants to do research and test them. If you're a part of Favorite Rods and you're kind of hand in hand with Winston and all these guys, if you had questions about rod sizes and actions and powers, I think you've got some guys that you could go to get your questions answered. So you just buying some arbitrary rods off the shelf to learn that, that doesn't sit well. And again, I think a lot of guys in the comment section, when they heard the comment about the reel, when they start seeing Rob buy some new rods, is like, okay, so spill the beans, tell us what's going on. Just take a quick second, I want to ask you guys, I need you to leave a comment below. So if you are somebody, there's so many different avenues with this. If you are somebody who already owns Favorite Rods, probably because of the Googan Squad, if they leave, will you continue to buy Favorite Rods? Or will you just buy random rods from different manufacturers, maybe based on your preference or the size or action you're looking for? Or will you move to whatever Googan Squad starts producing? Will you wait for their line of rods and go to that? I want you guys to leave that comment below what your thoughts are. What will you do if they are officially gone with Favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Leave that now. As many of you guys know, I work with Favorite Rods. I have for years, but I want to be honest, Favorite Rods was put on my radar. I had no idea who they were until I saw Lunkers and these guys using their product, and then made me interested in them. And I started going through and saying, okay, so wait a minute. Favorite is working with all of these social media influencers, all the people at the top of their game, the Googans, and I'm trying to do social media content, fishing content, so obviously I want to partner with and be associated with that kind of brand. So obviously I was gravitated towards them and started getting their rods. Now another thing happened though too around that same time. Lake Fort guy had his brain tumor, and Favorite Rods was saying, listen, you buy a Big Sexy and I'll give money to help Lake Fort guy and all this kind of stuff. And so I looked at that as, wait a minute, they are taking care of one of their family members. He wasn't technically a Googan at the time, but he was using Big Sexy rods. He was part of that because of Lunkers. And I said, well, listen, if Favorite is going to bat, has Lake Fort guy's back in this situation, this hard time, then that's something that I want to be a part of. If this is like a family kind of thing with them, then obviously that is who I would want to work with. And so I started using their rods, reached out to them, we've made this partnership, and I've been with them ever since. This is going on a few years now. I've had no quality issues. I've had no issues with any of the guys. They've treated me extremely well. I have no beef with any of them. I really enjoy working with Favorite Rods. So if the guys move away, now that I've had a few years in with Favorite, I could still see myself staying with Favorite. I have no reason to leave them. Their products have always treated me really well. I've caught a lot of fish on them. They've held up great for me, and the guys at Favorite take care of me. So I've got no beef there, not at all. I love a lot of tackle, so other rods and things I'll always continue to look at, but I tend to work with them because they've had my back. They really have. So again, like I said, I've got no beef with them, but I'm curious now, if the main players move away from Favorite, what's going to happen to Favorite? Again, will you buy their product or will you go to something else? I've met Rob one time a couple years ago at ICAST. Actually, Favorite Rods was able to get me into ICAST. I worked with them at the show. It was a great experience, and I was able to meet Rob. This was actually last year because it was the launch of Googan baits. And Rob was a very nice guy. I got the impression that he is a very good businessman. He was very personable. He was very nice. And I had a great experience. I didn't talk to him for a long time, but I did talk to him. And watching Rob like you guys watch him and meeting him, I know Rob is the Cardi B of the Googan squad. This dude is making money moves, okay? He is all about making that brand grow. He's the entrepreneur. He's the head of that army, the Googan army, and why you see products everywhere. And I don't hate the player. I guess you can't hate the game, but he's capitalizing on the opportunity. So big applause to Rob on that. I would do the same if I had the opportunity to be in that position. Absolutely. You'd see Fishhook Terry stuff on everything. It'd be on every rod, reel, whatever. So they got all these baits. The next step would be reels and rods. But you would think if everything was hunky-dory and moving smooth with Favorite, that you would maybe try to work something out there. So is there something going on where they didn't get the right cut, the right percentage, whatever? I mean, there's a lot of speculation. It's a big question I think a lot of guys are really trying to understand of. Is that what happened? Were they trying to make a Googan line of rods and they couldn't see eye to eye? I mean, business happens, things like that happen, I understand. But for me, in my opinion, being as old as I am and in business as long as I've been, if there were like a certain contract, you would assume that you would still see these guys running their Lake Fort guy, Big Sexy, Lunkers with his Lunkers TV rods, the rigged rods with John B. You would think that you would see those guys maybe run through the end of the year, then they would say, hey, the contract expired and now we're doing this and we left on good terms. But you don't see any of that. It just went from 0 to 100. You went, and maybe you saw a little bit leading up to it, but then there was official like, boom, okay, we're not talking about anything, but we're also not using their rods. So that's what makes this like a juicy little aspect. And I think a lot of guys are waiting to hear from the horse's mouth, from the Googans, okay, so what's the deal? The other thing with this is Googan baits. Like I said, I was part of the 2017 iCast where you had the Favorite booth and the Googan Baits booth. They were together. Those guys are definitely working together. Did Lunkers and those guys buy out Favorite share? Is there something going on there? Obviously, they're still promoting the heck out of everything Googan Baits. So they must have the majority stake, or they have the whole steak, they have the whole enchilada, they have the whole shebang, whatever. I'm curious of how that happened. And then there's some other moving parts into this drama. You've got people like Scott Martin, who is part of Googan Baits. He's, from my understanding, bought into that, but he also runs Favorite Rods. And so does his dad, Roland Martin. He runs Favorite Rods. So there's a lot going on here. I'm just curious if this is really going to end on good terms. Here's one thing that I find really odd about this whole timeline, and I'm not sure where this puzzle piece fits into all of this, but at the time of Rob trying to give away his rods, they're also bringing back one rod into the fold of Googan Squad. And again, like I said before, Rob is making money moves. Rob, to me, is playing chess. Okay, this guy is always 5 steps ahead. So is bringing one rod back into the fold part of this plan, either to have more capital for Googan Baits, to buy everything out and have their own thing with Googan Baits away from Favorite, or is there something else totally going on with that? Because again, they dogged him out. When he didn't take the offer to go to Googan Squad, there was a lot of really crummy comments that were left and dogging his videos and all sorts of stuff. So to have him come back into the fold was really a head scratcher to me. If you watched One Rod's kind of video describing how he came back into Googan Squad, in that video he says that Rob called him. So again, Rob's not doing anything just because. Rob's doing stuff because he's got something up his sleeve. He's the mastermind, and he does everything very well. That guy knows what he's doing. So is that part of this as well? It seems crazy to me that they really kind of burnt a bridge with this dude. Now they're bringing one rod back into the fold. You've got this other kind of drama going on between leaving their rod company. I don't know. That one I could be totally way off in left field and making too much out of nothing. Again, watching Rob's video yesterday and how the comments that he mentioned, as well as how he just went and bought other rods and he's doing all this research, and it doesn't have a good feeling on how this whole relationship between Googan and Favorite is going down. So that's about it. That's all I know on Googan drama and Favorite rods. If there's something that you heard in one of their other videos that I missed, or another post that they had that mentions about this deal and what's going on, leave that in the comments below. I would really love to get that discussion going with you guys and find out what's actually happening. So again, leave that in the comments below. Again, guys, I am Fishhook Terry. I hope you like this video. I hope you have subscribed to the channel, and I hope you come back for more. Guys, I will catch you in the next one. Tight lines, everybody. Peace.